So last fall I showed you guys a Pilot Vanishing Point, and I had the red and the gold version, and you know, that was a pen that I wasn't quite sure about, and ended up really liking that pen a lot. And I wasn't sure about it because of, you know, the retractable nib thing and the placement of the clip. This pen ended up being my go-to pen. So what I did was I was looking for another Vanishing Point fix. And so I started looking around, and there's one pen that it's over at Cult Pens, and it's like a Raiden, beautiful, you know, has Urishi lacquer on it, Vanishing Point. It's like $500 over there. I was like, that's kind of pricey. So I ended up going over to Pen Chalet and looking on their website, and what I found was I think an equally cool pen. I mean, it's not as fancy as the Raiden material, but this pen in this box is the Carbonesque, the Black Carbonesque Vanishing Point. On the screen, it looked really cool. And I peeked inside the box, and it's even cooler in person. Yeah, as you can see, it has a sleeve that slides off. And what I like about Pilot, especially some of these pens, I mean, this isn't obviously not their Urishi lacquer, beautiful, expensive $1,000 pens. You know, this is more of a pen that is for everyday use, but it's still quite beautiful. But what they do is they don't put a lot of that money into the packaging. Those are little puppies in the background, so they're gonna bark and do that a little bit. The packaging isn't like over the top fancy, but it's clean. But a lot of the value goes into the pen. I'm taking the pen out of the box, and underneath here we've got a, let's see, in this bag is a little cartridge. And by the way, this is a proprietary cartridge converter system. I'm still trying to figure out, maybe you guys could let me know what this is for, this silver piece, because I'm really not sure. It's really interesting. I'm sure somebody out there knows, right? And then we also have this little brochure that comes in it. And basically what it has is directions. So maybe if I read this a little closely, I can find out what that silver piece is, right? Let's take a closer look at that pen. So here it is, the Black Carbonesque. And you know, I've seen this pen before. And the thing was, I'm gonna take this little tag off. The thing was, I thought it was carbon fiber. It's not carbon fiber. It's actually this technique, this Japanese technique known as Kasuri, K-A-S-U-R-I, Kasuri. And Kasuri is a textile that is dyed with a resist technique. And what they use it for, it creates simple patterns. And that's actually what you are seeing on this pen, is a fabric using this resist dyeing technique. So if you have a closer look at it, what's actually going on here, you could see that some of the, you know, some of the black dye is missing, and it mimics the look of carbon fiber, but it's not carbon fiber. To be honest with you, I really don't have anything against carbon fiber. And you know, on some pens it's actually kind of cool, but I just kind of feel like at this point I see it everywhere, you know, and I don't find it very exciting anymore. And I don't know, maybe it's just too much. That's just me. That's my personal opinion, of course. When I read more about this pen, and I realized, I was like, well, okay, so this is kind of cool. This is something different. And I like that there is this textile technique being used for this pen. I was like, well, that is actually really cool. So the Pilot logo here on the back, it's actually, it looks like it's stitched in there. So that's actually super cool. Something different, something that's not being done on other pens. What really scared me about this pen previously was the clip placement. And after I was using my other pen more regularly, I found that the clip didn't bother me at all. You know, you know, my finger kind of touches it a little bit, but overall it doesn't bother me whatsoever. And the one thing that I ended up loving about this pen was that it has this cool retractable nib system. And that is just the coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, come on, man, that is awesome. So yeah, very, very cool. I mean, I could do this all day long. Another cool thing, and why you get so much value in this pen, is that this nib is an 18 karat gold nib. And so all of these vanishing points come with gold nibs. And for the price, I think it's really good. And we'll talk price towards the end of the video like I usually do. So, but I ended up getting a stub nib. I didn't even know that Pilot offered this pen in a stub nib. And so yeah, I jumped all over. I was like, sure, stub nib, absolutely, count me in. Yes, please. Let's go ahead and take this pen apart and see what's going on inside of here. All right, so this comes up and automatically see the converter. Now, what I do know about this converter already is that there's a little system here. I guess I didn't have, oh, I do have it. So yeah, it slips right out. There's your nib unit and everything. So what I do know about this converter is that it's little. It doesn't really hold a lot of ink. And so what's recommended, and what I've seen recommended from other users of this pen, is to use the cartridge, and when the cartridge runs out of ink, refill it with ink using a syringe, and it holds way more ink. So that's probably what I'll do, but for this video, I am gonna go ahead and I'm going to use the converter so I can use whatever ink I want for now. And then I'll probably do the cartridge for another time. So this little nub thing guides the pen back in to the barrel. So here's the opening right here. So it's like, I always wondered, I was like, how do you know how to put it back in? And obviously, they, of course, they're gonna provide like a little guide for you to do that. So put this back on here. Another thing I wanna point out is there is a nice O-ring right here to protect against any types of ink leaks or anything like that, which I really appreciate. Those are those details that I really love, because if something does happen to that, and when you put it back together, it really feels like it's sealing that barrel back together. But I really like that, because it's like, if there's an ink leak in there, I really don't want it to get all over my purse or all over my pen case, so that saves that from happening. Another thing about this beautiful pen, or the Pilot capless series, is that the nibs don't seem to dry out, which this is a great pen for on the go to keep in your bag and have it ready for you to use, except for the ink capacity situation. But it doesn't dry out, and if you don't feel like messing with a cap, you just take it out, click on that, start writing, which I think is really convenient. And so yeah, I'm just gonna start doing this again. If you are able to see inside of the pen where the nib would come out, there's like this little trap door, and it's cool. I mean, somehow you push this and the trap door moves and your nib comes out. And I just honestly, I think the design of this pen is just ingenious, and it's been around a long time. This pen actually was initially introduced back in the 1960s, and it's still going strong today. I know there's a whole lot of diehard Pilot capless pen users, and I mean, I could see why. It's really cool. There's that nib. I'm really excited to try out this stub nib. I haven't tried a Pilot stub before, so this could be fun. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this pen up, and let's see how she writes. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the Pilot Vanishing Point capless pen, fountain pen in Black Carbonesque. You know, I'm holding this pen and I'm feeling it, and you can actually feel through if this is lacquer. I don't know what they have protecting the fabric, but there's a really nice tactile quality to this, and I can feel like a texture through here, and it's so satisfying. It really is. It's just like so satisfying. So let's talk about how that Pilot stub nib wrote. Oh my goodness. You know, it almost has like the appearance of a flex nib, which is so weird. I mean, let's bring that writing sample back up. And this is a stub nib. So yeah, I really like the way it makes my writing look. It looks really fancy. And it writes really smooth. So yeah, Pilot stub nib. Wow. Who would have thought? I mean, yeah, it writes really nice. So I'm really, really impressed with the Pilot stub nib. I need to find other Pilot pens with this nib. I have to find more pens with the stub nib. Anyway, yeah, totally recommend the stub nib. This is my 4th Pilot pen. I know, I hold off for so long and have hold off for so long because I started thinking that maybe the pen was just overhyped, and I'm realizing it's not. Pilot actually makes very good fountain pens, and I love them. I love my 823. I love my 912 with the flex nib. I love my Vanishing Point. This probably won't be my last Vanishing Point, but their nibs write so good, and I just love the value you get for this pen. You get a gold nib, and you don't pay a whole lot. For instance, the MSRP on this pen is $195. Okay, that's not too bad actually. Even if that was the going price for it, I don't think that's too bad. It still has a gold nib that you can use. Now, Pen Chalet is offering it for $156. Yeah. $156 is a really, I mean, it's good. But if you are a veteran like myself, or you are a teacher, or a first responder, Pen Chalet offers this really generous discount. I got mine for using the discount, and I had $20 of ink drops. So, and that's from prior purchases. So I got this pen for, I mean, I can't believe it either. I practically stole it. $112. Yeah, so if you're able to use any coupon, even their 10% off would like totally make a big difference in the price. I mean, that's under $150 for a really great, reliable pen with a gold nib. I mean, it's a win-win. It's a big time win-win. So I highly recommend the Pilot Vanishing Point. I haven't tried a Decimo yet. From what I understand, the Decimo is a little bit smaller, but I really like the size of this pen. It's a good size for all hand sizes, if you have big hands, small hands, whatever. And I just love that it's a great pen to take on the go, and it just looks cool. Yeah, this won't be my last Pilot Vanishing Point. And I might someday, maybe I will cough up the money and get the Raiden one. Maybe next payday. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Well, that's all I have to say about this cool pen. Thanks so much for joining me. And that's how the ink flows.